Hey everybody, it's Jimmy. So I'm from New York, okay, and I moved to Florida, I think 2009, something like that. I moved to Florida, and I go back to New York all the time. But the more, because I'm doing inspections, I'm meeting so many people, and I'm always running into New Yorkers. And I just got back from New York not that long ago, and kind of when I come back here, I'm like, you know what, this Florida's starting to feel like New York. With the stores and the little strip malls here and the chain restaurants. That old Florida feel, you know, back, back just a few years ago is kind of disappearing. So this video is about, is Florida turning into New York? All right. So we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the New York to Florida pipeline. Okay. Why so many New Yorkers are moving to Florida, and what's going to be the long-term ramification with that? And I know you guys are going to be saying, hey, you're in New York, and get out and move back. Go ahead, comment below. you know, why the wealthy are love Florida. So is Florida going to become just for the rich? Especially down in, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, it's just so many rich people are moving down there and leaving Manhattan. I turn on the news and New York is actually losing billions of dollars of revenue because so many people with money are moving down to those areas. How is this changing Florida? Like I said before, we're going to go over that. How it's changing. I did some notes. What does this mean for regular Floridians? The people that were born here, brought up here, that seems like they're getting pushed out a little bit. We're going to talk about that. Could Florida become the next New York or something else entirely? Let's dive into that one too. So there's so much stuff to do. And final thoughts, should you be concerned or excited about what's happening to Florida? So if you think about moving to Florida, or if you live in Florida, you probably ran into this yourself, or you looked it up and you have friends that already moved here and everything. And comment below. Tell us what you think. In the meantime, if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. It really, really helps out the channel. And if you're looking for a home inspector anywhere in Tampa Bay, I'm available, and I have some other people I network with that are available. And if you need a realtor anywhere in the country, I built a really big network with that. There's a link below. Click on it, fill it out, and I'll get back in touch with you. All right, let's start off with this. The New York to Florida pipeline. Thousands of New Yorkers are moving to Florida each year. It's not just retirees anymore. It's CEOs, celebrities, hedge fund managers. So they're moving here. They could afford to buy these houses. They're driving up prices of houses, especially down in Miami. I mean, try to move to Miami and see if you could afford it. It's like ridiculous. My cousin has a restaurant down there, and it's so bad that they can't. Like, I went to go visit him, and I'm waiting to get served food, and he's like, "Hey, you're packed here. Why doesn't anybody come here and serve? Ask me what I want to drink or what I want to eat." They're like, "We're shorthanded." I was like, "You guys are packed. Why don't you hire people?" He says it's hard to hire people because the waiters, waitresses, cooks, the people that the working people just can't afford to live in those areas, those high-end areas. And it's not worth it to them to drive an hour in traffic to get to those areas for the job. So you have the locals that support everything, but they can't afford to live there in the same time. Isn't that ridiculous? All right, Miami is being called Wall Street South. Citadel, Blackstone, and other firms have opened up major offices or even relocated there. It's true. Some big companies are calling Florida their new home, but they're driving up prices. Remote work changed everything. Why stay in cold cities when you can zoom in from the beach? Listen, remote work was really, really big during COVID times, and I agree with that. But now they're getting called back to the office and everything. But a lot of the companies are moving here, so the office might not be too far. But yeah, remote work made a lot of people from New York, Jersey, Connecticut, the Northeast move down here. Florida offers tax advantage, no state income tax, a huge deal for high earners. It's true. They're the ones who pay most of the income taxes, you know. Yeah, there's high property tax and high insurance costs, you know, but I mean, but they could afford it. The regular people can't afford it, but their big thing is income taxes. Every time you're saying, hey, you know, we'll get the 1% to pay, that's who they're talking about. So why would they want to pay a state income tax and they can just move from New York? And there was something in California. Comment below if you guys heard about this. They want to tax people that leave California for other states because they're losing so much revenue. So it's like an exit tax or anything. I haven't done a lot of research into it, but comment below. Let me know what you think. COVID sped up migration. Lockdowns made people reevaluate lifestyle. In Florida, open policy tracked them. Absolutely. We were free while everybody else was on lockdown. And I have a lot of family in New York, and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything here. And then they come down here like, hey, it's like nothing's changed. Nothing's locked down. Wealthy people are buying second homes and then making them primary homes. From Palm Beach, Naples, luxury homes purchases are skyrocketing. Okay, it was skyrocketing. Now it's not skyrocketing anymore. But the rich people are still buying. I know of a lot of homes. I've been doing a lot of inspections on homes like $1.5 million, $2 million. And the ones that are like 400, 500, 600,000 are kind of sitting on the market for a long time. So, and you know, they're paying cash probably, you know. Real estate agents are saying Florida is the new Hamptons, especially areas like Miami Beach and Boca Raton. Listen, I spent a lot of time in the Hamptons. Like I said, I'm from Long Island, and I spent a lot of time in Miami, you know, and it's true. It's true. Miami's becoming the new Hamptons. Flights from New York City to Miami have become routine. Private jets, too. The airport traffic shows it. Yeah, if you do flight tracker, there's so many flights coming from New York. It's like back and forth, back and forth. I know one person that actually works in New York, but they have to work 3 or 4 days a week, I think, from what they say. But they'll fly back and forth. They live here, but they work in New York. Think about that one. This isn't just a fad, it's a shift. It's true. People are saying, you know what, I'm done with New York. I'm going to Florida. Why are they picking Florida? I don't know, but they're all going to like the East Coast. And for some reason, like people from like California, you know, and the Carolinas and some other places that are moving here from the Midwest are moving to the West Coast. A little more relaxed atmosphere, calmer waters. I like it so much better. But for some reason, New Yorkers and Jersey people and Connecticut, they like the East Coast. Maybe because it reminds them of New York so much. But if they love it so much, why aren't these, you guys are probably going to say, why aren't they just staying in New York? I don't know. I have no idea. If you're from New York and you relocated to, you know, the Southeast, you know, let us know. Why? All right. New York versus Florida, all over social media. People are joking, but there's truth behind the trend. It's true. It's always being compared. Let's get into why the wealthy love Florida. It's not just taxes, it's lifestyle. Warm weather, beaches, boating, golfing, no snow shovels. Me, I came down here from New Hampshire, but I grew up in New York because of the fishing and the boating. Luxury developments are becoming boom. High-end condos, exclusive communities, waterfront estates. Oh, you have to see some of these buildings that they're building. Freaking incredible. They're gorgeous, you know. But I also know some areas that their HOA fees are like $2,000 a month. You know, I mean, come on, $2,000 a month, but these people could afford it. I'm not trying to beat up on rich people. I'm just telling you the facts, you know. It's easier to get VIP treatment, less competition than New York City for elite services, reservations, etc. Okay. Florida embraces the wealth. Local government often roll out the red carpet for big money. I see that all the time. You know, Florida is always trying to do something to attract companies here and people here to attract them more. You can live like a royal for less. Compared to New York City prices, Florida luxury can feel like a bargain. It's true. If you come from New York City, Florida will feel like a bargain, including Miami and Fort Lauderdale, that whole area. But if you're coming from the Midwest or the Carolinas or Alabama or anywhere like that, you're good luck. That's all I can say. Okay, political climate plays a role. Some wealthy folks prefer Florida governance style. Okay, some people are saying, you know what? I want to get away from the blue states, go to the red states. But like, let me give you my 2 cents. I never get into politics, but let me give you my 2 cents. It changes all the time. Like, yeah, Florida might be a red state, but it might be a blue state a few years from now. It's just like you're still here, but it's a different governor. Politics change all the time. You can't base your life on politics. Okay, I just don't believe you should, because people come and go, but just do what's best for you. Privacy is easier here. Gated communities, private islands, secure properties. Yeah, if you could afford it. Networking hubs are shifting the South. Parties, fundraiser, galas, Miami social calendar is loaded. It is. I checked that out. I read about it. They have some really big social events down there. Florida has become a status symbol. Owning a mansion in Miami now carries social clout. Not that I know or I will ever know. And even if I had the money, I'd probably never spend millions and millions of dollars on a house. It's just not me. All right, let's talk about how this is changing Florida. Skyrocketing real estate prices, especially in Miami, Naples, Palm Beach. Yeah, right now there's a change happening. But again, it just goes up and down, up and down. But at the end of the day, it's still very expensive. More luxury stores and services popping up. Thinking designer boutiques, Rolls Royce dealerships, high-end spas. Yeah, down the road over here, they have a big Ferrari dealership, And I would love to check out the Ferraris. Not that I could afford one or buy one, but it's just, you see these luxury Rolls Royce dealerships and everything. So, those people, they're only building those because there's money in there. Okay, local culture is shifting. Some residents feel that cities are losing their old Florida charm. Absolutely. It's happening more and more and more. And I did a whole video on that, so check that out. Traffic and infrastructure strain. More people, more cars, longer commutes, packed roads. It's ridiculous. It used to be that, during the winter, just traffic everywhere. Then summer, it cleared up. And this was just 5, 6, 7 years ago, right before COVID. Now, even during the summer, it's like traffic, construction, the expanding roads. It's just ridiculous. I don't see a difference between summer traffic and winter traffic anymore. Okay. Affordable housing is shrinking. First-time home buyers are getting priced out. Yeah. First-time home buyers in Florida are kind of screwed, okay? Unless you move to certain areas in Florida, like the middle of Florida or something, Gentrification is unexpected places. Working class neighborhoods transforming quickly. Gentrification is when you take a town that's like falling apart and people with money come in and they pretty much rebuild it, but then they price out all the locals. So it's like, okay, this town got wiped out because of a hurricane. Let's go in there and then build, hurricane-proof buildings or luxury places and, charge $1.5 million. And the local people that used to live there. It's happening in Hudson, like right where I have the property. We had the hurricane. It wiped out so many people. They can't afford to rebuild. So what are they doing? They're, selling to investors. The investors are knocking them down, and they're building $1.5, $2 million houses. Just on my road, there's probably 4 or 5 houses going up right now. Okay. Job market is evolving. More high-paying finance and tech roles, less hospitality reliance. True. Luxury buildings are changing the skyline, especially in downtown Miami and Tampa. It is. You have to see some of these buildings. Tourism is evolving too, catering more to high-end travelers. Yeah, try even Disney and stuff, try to go to those things right now. You freaking you need hundreds, if not $1,000 just to get in with a family, The wealth gap is getting more visible. From $40 lunches to $20 valet parking, everyday life is getting more expensive, 100%. Let's go on to what this means for regular Floridians. Okay, I'm going to do a rapid fire. Home ownership is getting harder, 100% true. Rent prices are exploding. They're starting to stabilize, but that is true. Culture tension is brewing. Long-term residents versus newcomers with different values and habits. I'm starting to see that. All right. And then you guys are going to comment saying, hey, I grew up here in Florida. You're from New York. Get out. Go back to Florida. I know I'm going to get hundreds of comments like that. But, you know, hey, give me a break. I came in 2009. I came before COVID. Job opportunities may improve, but for whom? More high-end jobs might not help the average worker. It's true. There's still a lot of skilled workers that need plumbers, electricians, stuff like that. Some feel pushed out of their own communities, especially in the areas undergoing rapid gentrification. We just talked about that. Florida is a chill vibe and it's fading. More hustle, more stress, less than laid-back lifestyle people love. It used to be, that's so true. Florida used to be very, very laid back, but now it's like hustle and bustle. You know, it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It feels like New York. It just feels like it's just speeding up really fast. Insurance costs are going through the roof. People are wondering if Florida is still for Floridians. I know a lot of Floridians like, yeah, I'm moving, I'm going to Tennessee. So let's talk about, could Florida become the next New York or something else? Is Florida 2.0 or just New York with palm trees? Okay, I think that Florida is changing into New York, maybe minus the palm trees and minus the weather. Some elite cities are leaning into glam. Miami, West Palm, Sarasota, rebranding to elite destinations. I see that all the time. Others are fighting back. Local incentives to protect affordable housing or small businesses. You know, but over here, like in Pasco counties, like so many people are just building developments. I'm talking about thousands of homes and freaking strip malls, and they're building chain restaurants. You know, that old feel, that mom and pop restaurant, you know, the old style houses with some land. Right now, if you go down, there's a road here, you know, called Little Road. And if you look at both sides, they're literally building the houses like 8 feet apart from each other. It's like, you think there are alleyways between the houses. They're called, you know, zero lot line houses. Ridiculous, you know? So they're trying to stuff as many people as possible into certain areas. Will infrastructure keep up? Roads, airports, power grids all need upgrades. That costs money, but they're always doing construction. They're going to be doing construction for the next 20 years here to get this, you know? Climate change can impact growth. Rising sea levels, insurance issues may cap future development. Rising sea levels, listen, I'm not an expert, but that's what people say. Insurance, I can tell you it's going up, and I don't see any fixes in the meantime. Okay? Is the wealth influx sustainable, or is it a bubble that could pop? I think it is a bubble. But even if 25% of all the rich people that came down here leave because it's not for them, 75% are still here. And there'll always be rich people coming here because of money, business. What happens when the economy dips? Will these wealthy newcomers stay or go back north? Florida's future is being written right now. It is. It is. Tell me what you guys think. Okay, Florida's still growing fast, even though a lot less people are moving here. If you own property, this could be good news. Rising values, more equity, but I think prices are going to drop. I think values are going to drop maybe 15, 20%. Just my opinion. Let's see. The trend could reshape communities for better or worse. Some areas, I don't like the trend. Pay attention to who's moving and what they're changing. So some people are moving to Florida, and they're bringing their politics with them. They're leaving an area that, you know, they didn't like the politics, or they like the politics, and then they're coming here and they're trying to change the politics here. I've seen that happen in some areas. Comment below on that one. All right, Florida is still Florida for now, but blink, it might be like Fifth Avenue in a few years. Yeah, it could be. So what do you guys think? You think Florida is becoming New York? Maybe in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years. But I feel like everybody I run into are from New York. I'm running into people from Long Island. Like, I mean, I have so much friends here that I could probably have a mini high school reunion here from all the people I went to school with that live within 15 miles of me. Tell us what you think. In the meantime, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And check out this video. I don't know if it's going to be here or here, but I picked it out just for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.